cannot understand how anyone could still try to convince me or convince anyone that the MLS is legitimately a more competitive league than the Saudi league. First play I saw, like Vinicius was like the focal point of, was the dive and the yellow card. And then like right after it happened again. Guys, what's up? We're back. Today, we're talking about Al Hilal and Real Madrid. Now, if I remember correctly, I said something along the lines of Al Hilal is playing against Real Madrid? Bro, Real Madrid's gonna win, bro. Like, what? I want to preface this by saying I don't watch the Saudi league. I really don't, not even for Ronaldo, Neymar, I didn't bother, okay? I don't watch a lick of the Saudi league, okay? So any exposure I have to it is from like Instagram clips, bro, TikTok clips. Other than that, I don't know anything about the Saudi league. But that's what makes this interesting. Real Madrid and Al Hilal tied, a result I really didn't see coming. Before I say anything about Real Madrid, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not going to be too harsh on Real Madrid, just because I am very understanding that this is the testing ground. You know, it's still very early on with these new signings, a new coach, and Mbappe didn't play. I don't think today would be a fair representation of what to expect for the rest of the season. However, we're still going to talk about it, but I wanted to say that first before people grab me by the throat and slam me against the wall like Emma Frost. I have my opinions. Let's talk about it. First thing I want to talk about from Al Hilal. Wow, what a performance. This team, it's not a bad team. They play really well together. I don't know how else to tell you. The passing that Al Hilal had was actually pretty good. I mean, they got through Real Madrid's defense quite a lot. Now, I know people have their gripes about Trent Alexander-Arnold's defense, okay? He's not the best right back defensively, but I will say this game, it stuck out. They were on that left side quite a few times, and they almost scored with Trent just tracking back the entire time. I will say though, Al Hilal looks like they have all the pieces to be a very legitimate and threatening team. I really think that the main problem they probably have, in the reason why I had the belief I had, is just probably not enough exposure. Al Hilal would actually probably get, I don't want to say anything crazy, but I think Al Hilal could actually be a genuine competitor in like a Champions League run. I'm not saying they would win it all or anything like that. They clearly can hold their own against a team that, again, this is not the strongest Real Madrid team we've seen. This is new signings Real Madrid. This is new coach Real Madrid, and I'm emphasizing that. The 1-1 scoreline is not an accurate reflection. I mean, Real Madrid had a few chances to score. So did Al Hilal. The fact that it was 1-1 was kind of crazy, especially with the penalty call. The one thing I did notice about Al Hilal, which was like literally a lifeline, let's talk about Bono. Wow. What a goalkeeper performance. That was incredible. The amount of like off the line goal clearances and goal saving moments this guy had. Bro, he was the only reason it felt like for a while that Al Hilal had even a chance in the second half. He was there and he stood his ground as a goalkeeper, and that confidence, he's earned it, man. I mean, I think he played very, very well. I do want to talk about the penalty calls. To be honest, guys, I've already made this point before. I am not a referee. I am not going to tell you the rules and how to interpret a penalty call, especially something like this that could be so subjective to the individual. To me personally, right, I just don't see how they're both penalties. They both were. I will say the Real Madrid one was a little softer and kind of harsh, but guys, he hit him in the face in the box. That's a penalty. Okay, it wasn't like a light tap. He like actually slapped him in the face. That's a penalty. Like, let's just call it what it is. If you were watching your favorite team and one of the defenders or one of the attackers does that in the box, you know what I mean? Like, you would call for it because it's a penalty. Like, let's just keep it real. Let's not lie about it. But Bono putting up a masterclass of a performance, stopping a Valverde penalty, I think it was incredible. I think he really stepped up. I think he was actually the main reason that now people can kind of look at the Saudi league teams and say, hey, we're not as much as a joke as people say. And listen, truth be told, in my opinion, okay, And you know I'm a messy meat writer, okay? I cannot understand how anyone could still try to convince me or convince anyone that the MLS is legitimately a more competitive league than the Saudi league. I feel like this killed it. You could have had hypothetical debates, but this no MLS team is going up 1-1 with Real Madrid. I don't see it. LAFC couldn't beat Chelsea, and Chelsea would lose to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's not exactly fair to look at it that way. It's all hypothetical. But in my opinion, I really don't see any MLS team coming anywhere close to putting that kind of performance against a team like Real Madrid. That's just the way I see it. Another thing I wanted to talk about, just things I've noticed about Real Madrid. This is, again, first game. The defense is weird. Like, the defense is shaky. If I was a Real Madrid fan, I wouldn't worry too much. There's a lot of time to adapt this, get used to this, see what the players' strengths are, where they could play. But this was not a confident look. Again, I'm going to say that the Saudi leagues is going to look a little better, but having their attackers just dribble past your defenders so many times, at some point you look bad. It's not just about making Saudi look good. The one thing I do want to say though, and I don't know if a lot of people have thought about this, maybe I'm cooking, man. Maybe I'm him. All right. If I am, let me know. But I'm kind of curious to see how Valverde and Trent Alexander-Arnold could play, kind of switching in and out. You know what I mean? Since for the English national team, Trent can play. He's played center mid. Now, let me emphasize, that's Southgate ball, okay? I don't know how you feel about Southgate ball, but that's what he did. In the Euros, he played him as a center mid. And we know Valverde can play as right back. And honestly, I feel like that would be a cool, like, this is the time to try something like that out. It doesn't have to be the next game specifically, because they ended with a 1-1 draw. Not being in the league, this is the time to test that kind of stuff out. Against Al Hilal, I would have accepted it. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I think that would be really interesting. I just, guys, I'm sorry. I don't see Trent being this great defensive right back. And I don't think that's his role. I think everyone can agree, like, Trent is an amazing forward, but when it comes to all the duties of a right back, he's really weak on the defense. He really is. I really am curious to see if Valverde can just take that position, and then if they want, they can both play on that side on the right. They can both play next to each other, but just have Valverde sit deeper and have Trent just serve the ball into the box, or, feeding passes. I think it would be, I think it's worth a try for sure. Another thing I do want to say though, the reason I'm not taking this 1-1 way too much against Real Madrid, again, they're not playing with Mbappe. That's a very, very relevant detail, because there were so many chances that I know for a fact Mbappe would have scored. No debate. Hypotheticals, yeah, I know it would happen. There was quite a few chances that I seriously believe it, if Mbappe was on that field, it would not have been 1-1. I really don't. Another thing I do want to talk about, you guys know I favor Barcelona a lot. That performance from Vinicius Jr., something's got to change. Again, I'm not gonna rip into him because I mean he's been playing for Brazil too, so it's not like he's been gone for a while, but this like mentality he has, which a lot of, and it's not just Vinny, a lot of South American footballers specifically have this problem with, like, the diving and then just trying to get cheap fouls. I don't like it. I really don't. Whenever Vinny was getting Ballon d'Or shouts that year, he played really, really well. I was on board with it. I was more than okay. Obviously, Rodri ended up winning it, but in the last year and today, I haven't seen that Vinny again. I haven't seen a Vinny who's going to give any real team trouble. The first play I saw, like, Vinicius was, like, the focal point of, was the dive and the yellow card. And then, like, right after, it happened again. I'm really assuming, I'm just trying to be unbiased. I'm trying to be fair. You're playing for one of the greatest teams in the world. All right. You don't have to love Real Madrid to say they're up there with the best clubs of all time. That's not a debate. You can't be diving like this against Al Hilal. I know I say that like kind of slanderous, but like you understand the point I'm making. If you are someone who's saying you're going to do it 10 times over and put a season like that where Mbappe just shows like He can do it on his own. And then, you know, the new season starts up, new manager, new players, and then it's just more of the same Vinny. I don't like that at all. I really hope we get to see some improvement from Vinny and from Real Madrid as a whole, because lots of factors. Let's not pretend like this was full Real Madrid, right? But there's just a lot of things that I think are worth pointing out. Overall, Al Hilal and Real Madrid put on a very entertaining game. I got to be honest. I was watching. I thought it was a great game. The whole time I was just thinking like, this is like, it just, I had never imagined it. I really never thought Al Hilal would ever be this team that could take Real Madrid to 1-1. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. I thought it was pretty good. I think the Club World Cup has been a bit surprising. There are some obvious things. I think this was a bit surprising in the sense of I just didn't expect this quality from a Saudi League team. I was wrong. And you know what? I'm happy to be wrong because it means that we get better football than I expected. And that's a win for everyone, all right? Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you think of the video. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. You know I love you guys. You know that. I appreciate y'all, and peace.